Hallo YouTube, schön, dass ihr da seid. Ich bin's, die Michelle. Und tatsächlich meine ganze Community, die ihr hier unten mitlesen könnt. Wir reacten jetzt gleich auf den Showcase, wo gerade schon der Countdown mit abläuft. Heißt, wir werden live darauf reacten. Ich bin auf jeden Fall sehr gespannt und wir sind tatsächlich schon sehr gehypt. Ich bin sehr nervös und aufgeregt. Ich hoffe, wir haben gleich keine technischen Probleme. Aber anscheinend reguliert es sich gerade wieder. Und ja, ich weiß gar nicht, wie viele Leute gerade bei uns irgendwie mit zuschauen. Ich freue mich, dass die ganze Community mit da ist. Und vielen herzlichen Dank, dass ihr alle mit Huhu schreibt. Und das ist meine erste Reaction auf YouTube. Ich hoffe, das wird jetzt gleich alles knorke. Ich bin so aufgeregt. Wir haben gerade schon ganz... Willst du es wissen? Was will ich wissen, Sumisha? Was gibt's, höre mal? Achso, 140 Leute. Krass, hier sind gerade 140 Leute, die zuschauen. Freut mich, dass ihr alle mit am Start seid. Und ich bin aufgeregt. Also, ich glaube, ich werde gleich sehr krass reagieren, weil das mein absolutes Lieblingsgame mit ist. Ich bin gespannt. 1 Minute Chat. Ich verhaspel mich wahrscheinlich auch ganz schön oft, aber das ist, glaube ich, ganz normal. So, Technik funktioniert. Nichts ruckelt mehr. Lautstärke sollte okay sein. Die letzte Minute geht runter. Splatoon, dankeschön für die Bits. Höre mal, Alerts sind gerade alle ausgeschaltet. Habt das im Hinterkopf. Keine Follow-Alerts oder sonstiges. Vielen herzlichen Dank. Ich kann es nicht fassen. 1 Jahr ist es her, Chat. Jetzt geht es los. Ui, das kann es nicht sein. Chat, ich bin gespannt. Ich bin so fertig mit den Nerven. 30 Sekunden. Ich fange gleich an zu heulen. Wir werden uns das erstmal alles in Ruhe tatsächlich mit anschauen. Ja, und im Nachhinein werden wir auch nochmal jede Sekunde drauf mit reagieren. Aber erstmal enjoyen wir dieses ganze Video. Und ich würde sagen, let's go! Hör auf jetzt! Jetzt hier keine Lags oder so. Atme, Michelle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Aber Sally.
Hey Valley Villagers, welcome to the Disney Dreamlight Valley
Oh, no!
2024 Showcase stream. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're both so excited to give you a behind the magic look at what's coming next for the game.
So what do we have in store for you today? We're thrilled to introduce some of the amazing folks on the team, reflect on this incredible past year of free updates, and the Disney Dreamlight Valley, a Rift in Time expansion pass.
Hello,
we'll
Rachel.
Also look
Ryan.
ahead at some of the exciting developments on the horizon.
And make sure to tune in for the full stream as well. It'll be bursting with surprise reveals and exclusive teasers that you won't want to miss.
Kicking things off, we're starting this celebration by reflecting on one of the best parts of Disney Dreamlight Valley, you, our community.
And thank you for joining us today and living magically with us and alongside some of your favorite Disney and Pixar characters. Let's dive into how you've shaped this journey with the inclusion of community-driven features, some arriving a lot sooner than you might expect.
Grad, Chat. Jo, Sally haben wir gesehen.
At this point, there isn't a corner of my own valley that isn't inspired in part by our fans' designs. But what I love is seeing their reactions to each update, exploring and relating to the stories that each new character brings.
Reden gerade
Just
über
like
die
last year,
Community
we've
von
brought
euch.
along some clips that show off our past year of updates.
Jetzt sehen wir ein paar
just as
Content
we see it
Creators.
through the
Amy
community's
Lee,
eyes.
Olli Jolly. Wen sehen wir da? Höre mal, jetzt bin ich gespannt. Thank you for trick or treating with us.
Alte Jack Skellington, willkommen! Okay, hat's geklappt, wunderbar.
Well, you see, I'm the president of the Oogie Boogie fan club.
Johnny macht Videos. Cool. Nice, darüber freut er sich mit Sicherheit super. Hat er verdient, der Gute. Wow. I love it. Oh, Tinker Lily ist awesome. Tolle YouTuberin als auch Streamerin. Tinker Lily ist klasse.
Look how cute she looks.
Kenn ich nicht tatsächlich.
Look at her.
Die ist auch awesome. Sie streamt auf Twitch, höre mal.
Wow.
Kenn ich
Nobody's
nicht.
sad that I have to break them with
Ja, man
hands.
kennt ihn. Schön. Mhm.
We're matching. Oh my god.
We're gonna make. Oh my
Kenn ich auch
gosh.
nicht. Turning back time with us. Schön, wie sie immer noch mal so ein Recap mit haben, ne?
Cool.
Kenn ich auch nicht.
My God.
Kenn ich auch nicht
We're like
tatsächlich.
changing it from the past to the present.
Oh my god.
Kenn ich auch nicht.
Hi,
Tatsächlich.
Oswald.
Ihn kennen wir.
Look at us flying!
Nice. Aber auch schön, das Ende, ne? Meine Güte. Thank you for living magically with us. Schön.
Before we get any further, I think we have a code 2319.
A code
2319?
Oh. That's the first redemption code we have to
Die
share with everyone
ersten
watching the
Codes,
stream.
Chat.
Add some celebratory style to your avatar by redeeming the code on screen for a pair of Dreamlight
DDV Sock, ihr Süßen. Oh, es hängt, ne? Bitte, komm wieder zurück, höre mal. Oh nein.
High socks and
Dankeschön.
Dreamlight Crew socks
Das
to wear
gibt's nicht, dass es so
in-game.
leckt jetzt.
Use these steps to redeem the code and be sure to tune into the full stream for
DDV
additional code
Sock könnt ihr
reveals.
jetzt im Spiel wahrscheinlich mit eingeben und
Since
dann
this
bekommt
time
ihr
last year,
Socken.
we've introduced 2 new realms, 13 new characters,
Nein. Warum hängt's denn jetzt so? Kann man die Codes auch noch morgen einlösen?
and
Ja,
dozens
kannst
of
du.
exciting
Ist gar
furniture
kein
and
Problem.
wardrobe items
Ist
across
kein
6 free
Problem.
updates, and the Disney Dreamlight Valley, a Rift in Time expansion pass. As always, if you have a suggestion or feedback for the game, don't hesitate to let us know on one of our social media accounts or by joining our official Discord server.
Up next, we've got another community manager, Courtney, and our game manager, Guillaume, to give you all the deets on our upcoming free update and maybe some of those aforementioned quality of
Natürlich,
life
Erdbeer
improvements that
klar,
you can
schreib's in
expect
den
coming to
Discord.
your valleys very soon.
Chim Chim. Chim Chim. Huh?
Thanks for joining me today to take a deep
Das sah
dive
irgendwie
into the
anders
next
aus,
free
oder, der
content
Eingang?
update coming to the Valley.
Der sah anders aus.
Thanks for having us.
So last year around
Hallöchen.
this time, we revealed Jack Skellington and the Pumpkin King Returns update.
Jetzt
As you
kriegen wir
likely guessed from our
Sally.
last roadmap, Sally from Disney Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas will join him, bringing
Oh.
her signature patchwork style to the Valley as part of the So Delightful update.
Die sieht
After hunting
toll
for dolls and
aus,
experimenting on night
Chat.
shards with the Jack, what can we expect from Sally's adventures in the Valley?
Well, having lost her way outside the Valley, players will team up with Jack to make sense of Sally's
Ja.
creepy-crawly messengers as they craft a plan to reunite with her. Then as
Ja,
Sally gets
okay.
comfortable in the Valley, you'll help her set up a macabre date night, embrace the art
schöne
of
Möbel.
quilting, and puzzle out her latest
Schmiedeeisen in
premonition, among other
schwarz.
things.
So as far as Sally's friendship rewards go, what can players expect?
Well, inspired by our sense of style, you can expect tons of patterns across clothing items and furniture. From strip socks to a bed featuring Sally's iconic patchwork aesthetic, these rewards just scream Sally.
Now, it wouldn't be a Disney Dreamlight Valley update without a new star path. What can we expect
Oh
from the
ja,
theme this
neuer
time around?
Sternfahrt,
Well,
Chat.
this winter we'll be embracing the ethereal sides of the season.
Ethereal
You'll get to
side?
step into your own personal fairy tale with ice-adorned furniture and bring a sense of whimsy to your dream stops emissions with a wand that produces snowflakes.
Well, there's never been a better time to join the Valley,
Zauberstab, das
especially
waren
now,
neue
as I know the team's been cooking up
Sternfahrt-Items für die
something
nächsten Sternfahrt
particularly
im
special with
Winter.
this update.
Fairy
Isn't that
Tale,
right, Guillaume?
wow.
That's right. As part of the So Delightful update, we're introducing a
Das sah
feature
gut
called
aus,
Floating Islands.
gefällt mir.
These act as additional spaces parallel to the valley, where players can decorate and let their creativity run free.
So you could almost think of these as extensions of the current biomes?
Exactly. Each biome in the valley will have a floating islands counterpart, retaining the same theme and ambience, but it will start as a clean slate. We plan to roll this out over time, and we'll kick things off with 4 floating islands in the So Delightful update. Like biomes in the valley, they will be purchasable with Dreamlight. And even better, each floating island will
Okay,
have
die
object
kosten
limits independent
Dreamlight.
from
Das
those
sind
in the
fliegende
valley, making
Inseln,
them
wo
perfect for
ihr
exploring your
expandieren
creativity
könnt.
and seeing how far
Erweiterung
you
zum
can go with your
Hauptvalley.
decorating skills.
We've also seen how driven our community is to connect, so it's equally important to us to ensure that this creativity could be shared. So yes, you will be able to travel to floating islands during valley visits.
How big are these spaces?
Wir können
From
die
a scale
Inseln
perspective, our
besuchen.
intention is for each of these floating islands to feel comparable in size to their valley counterparts. Once
Die
you've taken
sind
out in
riesig groß,
Ultimately,
Chat.
the goal is to offer ample space to create without them feeling overwhelming. We
Wow.
will have more to share about the exact size of the floating islands a little closer to launch.
And any furniture,
Okay.
decorations, or houses you've collected, as well as villagers you've befriended, will be totally accessible on these islands, and you won't have to worry about tidying up. Instead, the focus will be on empowering you with the creativity-focused options you've come to love.
We have one more piece of big news to share regarding a feature update.
Oh, in addition to floating islands?
Yes, we're improving upon how players can decorate in a huge way. Currently, item rotation is locked to the 4 cardinal directions. We've been impressed with our community's creative drive, and it has inspired us to add even greater control when placing items by increasing to 16 points of rotation.
And this feature won't just apply to furniture. You'll be able to more freely rotate buildings, landscaping items, resources like flowers, and even dropped items like prepared dishes. Our plan is to continue building upon this feature over time, including extending the support to fences and paths.
When will players be able to get their hands on these features in the rest of the
als auch
update?
Zäune,
We are excited to share that the
Versuchen sie
Storybook
das zu
Vale
machen.
update will be released free for all players on December 4th, 2024.
Speaking of release date, I feel like there was one more thing you wanted to unveil.
Looking ahead to next year, we're excited to share the free content roadmap for the first half of 2025.
Sag mal,
In the first few updates of
2025.
early next year, we're
Die
excited to bring
Katze,
some beloved
Alice im
characters to the valley.
Wunderland.
There are two
Das
I
ist
know
das
have been
links.
among the top in community requests, and it's safe to
Oh, müssen
say
wir
I'm
später
right
noch
there
mal
with
gucken.
them.
Grinsekatze,
And this is just
Jasmin.
a first look at what we have in
Okay,
store. With such a
Jasmin
rich
das
history of
Erste.
Disney and Pixar stories to draw from, there are so many exciting characters yet to come. I've been tidying myself over by hosting tea parties in the valley, so I can't wait until we can share what the team's got in the cards for that spring update. How about you, Ryan?
I'm excited to see what Secret Skull Rock might hold.
Yes.
After all, I know
Im
this has been a
Sommer.
hot topic among the community, but most
die
importantly, I
Spring.
can't wait to see what all of our players
Das
are
ist
most
eine
excited
kleinere
about.
Roadmap,
But
oder?
with that,
Bin ich
I
am
really
Trippen?
appreciate you both taking the time to chat today.
Das ist eine
Changing
kleinere
gears from free
Roadmap, oder?
Content updates. I think it's about time we
Bis zum
visited a
Sommer?
new land of mythical proportions.
Viel kleiner.
Welcome to the Storybook Vale. Lately, life here hasn't been so happily ever after. But it wasn't always like this. Once upon a time,
Hör auf jetzt! Nein, das kann nicht sein. Och, bitte.
the Storybook Vale was a land made up of legendary stories, where myths and fairy tales sprang to life. Until one day, powerful villains
Da
stole it
ist sie.
away
Die
and
Manifest
twisted it to
Hades.
their image. But their wicked nature didn't keep them friendly for long. Their hunger for power tore the
Dein
valley
Vögel.
apart.
Okay.
But all is not lost forever. Explore this magical world floating in the sky. Discover an enchanted artifact. Capture treasured tales that have taken on a life of their own. Unravel mythic riddles and reveal their hidden secrets. Rekindle old friendships. Rediscover long-lost fables. And help old friends come back together again.
Aurora. Aurora, Chat.
Disney Dreamlight Valley. The Storybook Vale Part 1 launches November 20.
Launching on November 20th, Part 1 of Disney Dreamlight Valley, the Storybook Vale invites players to make use of their Stardust
Nicht
port once
4.
again to be whisked
Dezember.
away to the Vale. Our second expansion pass gives players a whole new adventure full of new friends, quests, biomes, and even more surprises. Joining us now to share more on the narrative and game design of Disney Dreamlight Valley, the Storybook Vale, are some familiar faces from our last showcase, Josh and Calixta. Welcome.
Oh my God.
Happy to be here.
Hält
I'm
sich
sure
in
everyone is
Grenzen.
buzzing with questions
Oh.
after seeing that amazing trailer. To kick
Ja.
things off, could you share some more insights into the direction behind creating another expansion pass?
Of course. So expansion passes let us recapture the feeling that we gave players the first time they stepped into the valley, telling a whole new story with new villagers to meet, mysteries to
man
unravel,
fliegt
and
diesmal
biomes to
dahin.
make all your own. They're a great way for us to deliver just a huge amount of content to players.
And many of our players have interacted with the first expansion pass, Disney Dreamlight Valley: A Rift in Time, which was explored in 3 acts. Should they be looking forward to a similar rollout with this new one?
Ja,
So
wie
for
sieht's
this
aus?
expansion, we
Dieses Mal?
chose to do 2 parts with
Oh.
more content in each. We saw player feedback around the time to reach the conclusion
Zwei
of the
Parts
story and
diesmal
get you
nur.
far. And with this new
mehr
format, you'll get
Updates.
just as much content without as long of a wait. But just like with our first expansion, purchasing the
Jetzt und
Disney
im
Dreamlight
Sommer.
Valley, the Storybook Vale expansion pass will get you both parts as they become available.
More content, fewer cliffhangers? Count me in. Now it's time to spill the beans. What is the exciting story this time?
Ja,
So
erzähl
the
uns über die
Storybook
Geschichte
Vale is the
dahinter.
place in your heart where all your most treasured stories live. Once it hung in the sky above Dreamlight Valley, but during the forgetting, 2 Disney villains stole the
Über
Vale
Dreamlight
away.
Valley.
For a time, Maleficent from Disney's Sleeping Beauty and
Ja,
Hades from
Tayara.
Disney's Hercules ruled peacefully together over its 3 unique biomes, the Bind, Ever After, and Mythopia.
The Ever
But
After.
soon, a struggle for power between the mistress of all evil and the lord of the underworld tore the Vale apart.
Erzählen
As you can
gerade ein bisschen,
imagine, when you
um
get
was die
those two
Story
egos
mit
together in
handelt
a
und wo der
room,
Platz
sparks
ist. Und
literally fly.
da werden wir gleich noch ein bisschen tiefer mit
And when the
eintauchen,
players
Chat.
arrive in the Vale, they'll find out that things aren't so happily ever after. Ink is spilling out of the very ground throughout the Vale, and other mysterious phenomena have begun to take hold.
Das
You'll
ist das
meet with
erste
the Lord Keeper,
Biom.
a talking enchanted book who holds this world together. And while she wants help
Tut mir so leid für die Lex, ich weiß nicht, warum das ist. Das ist zu viel des
many
Guten.
stories in her
Aber es hält
pages,
sich in
the
Grenzen
discord
noch.
between Hades and Maleficent has gathered them. So only you can put them back together as you explore the Vale and get a little help from new friends along the way.
Wir finden neue
Speaking of new
Freunde.
friends, we were all
Und
treated
ja.
to a glimpse of some of the villagers who will hopefully join us on our adventures and later our valleys. I'm sure I'm not the only one curious as to what you can tell us about our new friends.
Ja, bitte die
I'm
neuen
happy to share
Charaktere
that part
hören
1
mal.
of the Storybook Vale will bring with it 3 villagers for you to unlock.
Okay,
In
Part 1
Bind,
bringt
you'll
3
find Merida
Villagers.
from Disney and Pixar's
Merida, habe ich
Merida's
nicht
such a
mit
fun
gerechnet.
character, and she seemed like the perfect new friend
Habe
for
ich
the
nicht
player.
mit gerechnet,
This
ne?
fearless princess will act as your guide, helping you command your own fate and learn more about this new
Schön. Ja,
world.
hey,
And
freut
in Ever
mich.
After, you'll meet with Flynn Rider from Disney Tangle.
Disney
This
Tangle.
swashbuckling rogue will help you uncover a world of fairy tales. Flynn's personality is so exciting to play with. Just watch out when he puts on his smolder. For players who
Schön.
already befriended Rapunzel in Disney Dreamlight Valley, A Rift in Time, look out for a
Sehr
special
süßes
opportunity
Misha.
to reunite the two.
And in
Reunited
Mythopia,
2.
you'll meet Hades from Disney's Hercules.
Und dort finden wir
Hades will
Hades
help you
in
to get
Part
to the
1
bottom of
direkt.
the world of myths.
Ach
And
du
in my
Jemine,
opinion,
nochmal so ein langes
Hades is one of
Kinn.
the funniest characters ever in a Disney movie, and he brings that same sense of humor to the game. So just watch out as he tries to make you his minion,
Oh, die
because
Windmühle.
he's not
Boah, der
exactly the
Olymp
greatest
da
boss.
hinten im
And
Hintergrund.
of course, all these villagers will come with their own unique houses that you can move to the base game or to a floating island if that's where you think they work best and want them to live.
Yeah, I'm
Ich bin
pretty sure I'm
verliebt.
gonna add Hades to my floating island full of villains.
I'll
das für ein
absolutely
Haus,
be making
Mann.
a Tangled-themed floating island to house both Flynn and Rapunzel.
Oh, yes.
But I noticed you didn't mention anything about Maleficent.
Yes.
While players might run into her in part 1,
Okay.
stay tuned for part 2 to solve all the
Wird
mysteries of
wahrscheinlich
the
erst im
Vale
Sommer
and
mit
welcome
Part
her to
2
the
kommen.
valley.
Okay,
And that's not all.
interessant.
You can expect one more mysterious figure to join forces with players in part 2 of the
Okay.
Storybook Vale.
Part
Aside
2
from your
werden wir
friends
noch
helping
einen
us, is there anything else we
Surprise-Charakter
can expect
bekommen.
to aid us in
Aurora?
piecing back together the
Eventuell.
Lorekeeper's stories?
Yes, players will have their neural net to aid them.
Why a net?
Aurora
Well,
wahrscheinlich,
the
ne?
scatters pages from the Lorekeeper hasn't just gathered with the wind.
5
They've come to
Charaktere, habe
life
ich
in
das
the
richtig
form of
verstanden?
snippets, which are enchanted origami creatures that you have to capture. The snippets mostly hang out around the Vale, but watch out for a few special rare ones that will show up back in the Dreamlight Valley.
Can't believe how cute they are. They're gonna be tricky to catch.
Die
Other
sind
than looking
wirklich
adorable
cute.
flying around the Vale, each snippet will come with their own unique way to be captured that the player will need to figure it out.
And once you catch them, you can restore Disney and Pixar
Wow, wie
magic
schön
to
das
the Lorekeeper's
aussieht, die
pages with a
Farben.
puzzle minigame. Each tale takes the form of a
Hey, Farben
beautiful
kommst.
tapestry telling the story behind a classic Disney or Pixar film. And these
Wir bekommen
tapestries
weiteres
can then serve
Minispiel.
as beautiful pieces of
Puzzeln. Ich
decor
liebe
that
Puzzeln.
players can use to furnish their in-game homes.
Ich liebe Puzzle.
I can't
Ich
wait to see the
weine.
gallery spaces
Ich
our
auch.
players are going to design to showcase them. But speaking of designing, as I'm sure players are invested in where to place their home in-game, what can we look forward to when exploring the different biomes in the expansion?
Well, after seeing the feedback from our last
Wow.
expansion, we've improved the flow of unlocking the areas within the biome and how a player progression in turn affect their exploration
Da haben
of
wir
this
neue Bäume
fantastical
gesehen
new
mit
world. One of
Oliven
our
oder
main
so.
goal in crafting
Weiß ich nicht, was
the
das
Vale
war.
was to allow for easier and more inspired decorating for our decor-driving players.
Die
We've
Bäume.
also
Ja, ich
added
bin
more
Deko
magic
Tribe
with the
hier.
introduction
Ich bin
of
Deko
prominent
Tribe.
landmarks inspired by Disney and Pixar stories.
Sie haben die
But of
Biome
course,
so
our
gestaltet,
team
dass sie von
delights
den
in creating
Disney-Filmen
secrets for players to
inspiriert
discover
sind.
too.
Ne,
Throughout
hat
your
man
journey
direkt
to the
gesehen.
Vale, you will uncover trials, special quests inspired by fairy
Trials?
tales and myths. They've become Scrabble-like pages in a book, and only the player can set them right using the full breadth of real tools, old and new.
And I'm
Interessant.
sure our community is up for the challenge. With all you
Irgendwelche
shared, it sounds
Rätsel,
like there's still many
Underground,
mysteries waiting for us in the Vale.
Mission oder
Thank
so,
you so much
wie ich
for
das jetzt
joining us, you
verstanden
two.
habe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow,
Up next, we invite
okay.
two members of the art team to the stage to
Das
share more on the
bietet
world
eine
and
Menge,
artistic
Chat.
design of the Storybook Vale. But first, use the code on screen to claim a
Neuer
Dreamlight Vale
Code-Chat,
headband
DDV
in-game.
Bo HB 2024. Man bekommt eine Schleife. Die haben reingehauen.
I'm joined by our director Steven and concept artist Yanon
Hallo
to dig into some of the
Steven.
inspiration
Hallo.
behind the Storybook Vale.
Ja.
Thanks for
Die
having us.
Bäume sind
Why don't we
schön.
start with quite literally the biggest artistic endeavor of the expansion pass, the biomes. Earlier, we were introduced to the Bind,
Durchatmen.
Mythopia, and Ever After. Where did the inspiration for these biomes come from?
In many ways, the biome was born out of our team's collective love of
Dankeschön,
stories.
Tiris.
There's something special and uniquely cozy about curling up with
Nein,
a good
hör
book.
mal.
So the
Schluss.
decision to lean into dark
Codes
academia
findet ihr
and the
später
cool
auch
yet
alle
cozy
im
ambience
Discord,
of an
ja?
autumnal forest just made sense.
Hallo an alle, die neu
And
dazugekommen
similarly,
sind.
Mythopia,
Hallo.
as you may have guessed from the name, is inspired by Greco-Roman culture and ancient
Erzählen
myths.
gerade so ein bisschen
When
an,
you
was die
explore this
Biome
biome,
angehaucht
you'll walk
sind.
through rolling fields
Boah,
of
die
golden wheat,
Mühlen
dotted
im
with cypress trees,
Hintergrund.
magenta florals,
Die
and ancient ruins.
Blumen.
And you may also
Wow.
discover subtle clues that a certain
So
god of the
schön.
underworld has also been there.
Finally, there's Ever After. We drew a ton of inspiration from Scottish and
Ever
Scandinavian
After, der
folklore,
Feenwald
while
oder was
sprinkling in
das
Fey
war.
mythology.
Oh,
The
die
idea was to capture the feeling
Pilze.
of a dark,
Oh, ich
enchanted
sehe euch
mushroom
schon.
forest and
Oh,
windswept
die
mornings.
leuchten in
I
der
don't know
Nacht.
about you,
Chat.
but for me, one of the most exciting aspects of digging into new biomes is seeing just how they'll translate into clothing and
Ich
furniture
krieg den
items.
Mund nicht
Can you
mehr
share a
zu.
sneak peek at what folks can expect?
Of course, self-expression is one of the main pillars of our game.
Ja,
so
ey,
we
mir
love
ist
the idea
mein
of
Kopf
taking
denkt das
inspiration
gerade auch.
from the new biomes into player customization. Maybe you want to build a cozy library where you can read for hours, or you want to dress up as a Greek god or goddess, or design a magical
Ja, ich
mushroom
griechische
fairy
Göttin
forest.
Kirschi,
I
da
think
sehe
that
ich
there's
mich.
something for
Ich bin
everyone here.
Göttin.
Speaking of expression, we wanted to take our commitment to
Kann ich
aesthetic
mehr reden?
cohesion even further in the Storybook Vale. Not only will you find Scrooge McDuck's store and share me within this new world, but you'll also find their facades
neue
have been overhauled to
Skins.
better fit in with their biome surroundings.
Ja,
You'll
danke
also want to
schön.
keep
Schön
an eye out for
umgesetzt,
some
das
new additions
Feedback.
to
Danke
Scrooge
schön.
McDuck's store that will be available to owners of this new expansion pass.
Okay.
Knowing just how much
Wenn
care
man das
you've put into the
Expansion Pass hat,
smaller
dann bekommt
details
man
of the
das.
environment, I'd love to know if there's any landmarks that stood out to you.
Yes, well, speaking of those smaller details, we loved playing with scale in Ever After. In particular, there's a waterfall feature that's inspired by the Mad Hatter's Tea Party from Disney's Alice
Von
in
Alice im
Wonderland.
Wunderland
I feel like
inspiriert.
this perfectly captures the whimsy
Ja.
of that biome.
The giant Hades statues in Mythopia
wird
is another
abgerissen, mein
imposing
Sumpf.
sight in game. Between that and the design of Mount Olympus, which features flames that mirror
Wow.
Hades himself, I feel like these players will have a blast picking out the details we worked in.
What about snippets? Where did that idea come from?
The snippets are literal pieces of escaped stories torn from a book.
Das
When we
sind
were
sie.
imagining how they may have
Das
escaped,
sind die
we
neuen
realized
Begleiter
we wanted the
wahrscheinlich,
snippets
ne?
to have their own personalities.
Haben ihre eigenen
so the idea of
Persönlichkeiten,
origami
die kleinen
animals
Begleiter.
or little paper creatures like a cute and fluttery bird or a silly little frog was created.
I love that. Speaking of cute
Ja,
little
ich lieb's
animals,
auch.
are you able to share
Mega.
anything about
Top.
the new animal companions coming this expansion?
Absolutely. As there will be 3 biomes arriving in the
Ach so,
expansion
warte,
pass,
na,
we'll
das
be
waren
adding
nur
a
Viecher,
unique
die wir
critter to
einfangen
each, all
konnten.
with their own color variants and puzzling catching
Nee,
mechanics.
das sind die
First will
Begleiter.
be soon to be
Doch,
animal
Eulen.
companions for the players to find will be the owls and the bind.
Eulen.
And as a nod to Maleficent's rule of the land, players can find mini dragons in Ever After. And if that's not exciting enough, players can also find mini winged horses in Mythopia, drawing inspiration from Disney's Fantasia.
That's incredible. I know I'll be counting down the days until I can adventure with a mini dragon at my side. To wrap things up, however, any last details on new collectibles and resources?
As you've seen, the Storybook Vale's biomes are remarkable in their own ways, and the resources you can find in each are unique as well.
One of my favorite
neue
new additions
Crocs,
are koi.
neue
They can be
Sachen.
found in the bind
Oh,
along with
Koi-Fische.
seawolf fish and delicious sea
Seewolfisch.
grapes.
How about you, Steven? Any
Ja.
favorites?
I'm a big fan of the landscaping. Mythopia brings poppies, buried lightning strikes, and bougainvillea, and Ever After is filled with bioluminescent moss and giant flora.
Die Fauna und
There's also
Flora,
plenty
was
of
man alles
edible plants
finden
as
kann.
well, ranged from green beans to porcini
Grüne
to more fantastical
Bohnen.
ones like ambrosia.
Ambrosia,
I can't wait to see how
Ambrosia.
our players react to them.
Ist das yummy? Ist das
With
echt?
new
Ich
resources,
weiß
can we
nicht, ja.
also expect to be cooking up new delectable dishes?
Definitely. We have dozens of
Neue
new recipes
Rezepte
arriving
natürlich
with the
wieder.
expansion pass,
Oh,
utilizing
Kürbisfannkuchen.
ingredients from both the valley
Wow,
and the
das sieht
Vale.
gut aus
Once
fürs
again, thank you
Dekorieren.
both so much for joining us
Schön.
today to dig into all the amazing art in Disney Dreamlight Valley, the Storybook Vale.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
Ja,
Now,
danke
let's
schön.
take a look at how you can get
Dankeschön.
your hands on the
Stream.
expansion.
Ja, sag mir, wie ich die Expansion bekomme. Twitch, halt doch ein
For
bisschen
those of
aus.
you who've been following along on this magical journey and already own the base game, there are 2 ways to dive into the Storybook
20.
Vale expansion
November,
pass.
Chat.
Like a rift
Okay,
in time
zwei
before it,
Wege.
the expansion pass will include a bundle of moonstones with your purchase. If you'd like
5000.
to add a
Ah,
little
okay,
extra
okay.
magic,
Schauen wir uns
look no
gleich noch mal in
further
Ruhe
than the
an.
Magical Edition, which offers even more moonstones, a collection of library and chic cosmetic items,
Yes,
and a truly
Bonus-Content
adorable
wieder,
baby
ne?
Pegasus animal companion.
If
Wow,
you're new
das
or know a
Bild.
friend who would love to get into Disney Dreamlight Valley, these are great starting points. Between the Disney Dreamlight Valley base game, the Storybook Vale bundle, and the Enchanted Edition, you'll be able
Das
to choose
ergibt
what's right
Sinn.
for you.
20.
course,
November
we
ist die
can't forget
eine
about those of you who
Goldedition
take the
nicht
time
mehr
to dive into
verfügbar.
updates as
Und dann
soon as
kommt
they
das.
arrive.
Ja,
We're excited
ergibt
to offer
Sinn.
a special early adopter
Ergibt
bonus
Sinn.
for expansion pass owners. As we had new ways to begin or expand upon your Disney Dreamlight Valley experience,
Bonusinhalte, mehr
we'll soon say
bezahlen.
goodbye to the Gold Edition, which comes
mehr
bundled
reinhauen.
with the base game, our first expansion pass, A Rift in Time,
Feinste Gönnung,
and
schreibt
an
das
assortment of
Kati.
cosmetic
Ja,
items.
feinste
This edition
Gönnung.
will officially leave stores on November 20th at 5 a.m.
Hallo
Eastern
Dukwa,
Time. We are kicking
Hallöchen.
off our deepest sale of the Gold Edition to date,
Ja.
so catch up on our first expansion, also on sale, while
Alles
you wait for
Sale.
the Storybook Vale.
Schlagt
And there
jetzt
you
zu,
have
falls
it.
ihr noch was nicht
From a
habt,
new
ne?
expansion pass exploring myth and the stories that connect us,
ich
to
muss
floating
durchatmen.
islands that will open up all sorts of creativity in the valley. We're so
Wow.
glad you were able to join us.
Haben sie
for all
was
the
zum
excitement of
Item-Limit
today's
gesagt?
showcase.
Nee, ne? Ich habe
Remember
vorher
to
mich
redeem
extra
the 2 codes we
angestrengt,
shared
ne?
throughout this showcase, and the third and final one
Oh
right
nein.
here for unique Dreamlight-themed items
Nächster
in-game.
Code-Chat,
And
DDV.
stay tuned to our social
Check
channels
it.
over the coming weeks for
Jetzt hör auf
even
zu
more
hängen.
details on these exciting new releases. Disney
Lucy,
Dreamlight Valley, the
Hallöchen.
Storybook Vale
Hi.
expansion pass launches on November 20th, and the So Delightful update arrives on December 4th. See you in the valley.
Habe ich es jetzt richtig verstanden? 20. November, DLC-Start. 4. Dezember, neue Season mit Sally und Sternenfahren. Habe ich das richtig verstanden, Chat? Habe ich das richtig verstanden? Richtig. Okay. Okay, sie packen nicht beide Sachen wie letztes Jahr zusammen auf ein Update, sondern sie verteilen das ein bisschen, was ich gut finde. DLC 20. November, 4. Dezember, Update mit den Floating Inseln wahrscheinlich und ja, Sally und Season Pass. Jetzt muss ich durchatmen, Chat. Jetzt muss ich durchatmen. Wir gehen auf YouTube und schauen uns gleich das Video nochmal mit an. Heidewitzka, hier ist der Olli. Boah, 1000 Zuschauer hat der Olli. Krass. Okay, ich mach ganz kurz mal durchatmen. Chat, was sagt ihr? Ich muss kurz. Top. Ich muss sagen, ich bin hin und weg. Ich bin sehr. Ich bin gehypt. Ich bin sprachlos. Ich bin Knockout, schreibt Nadi. Sally kommt. Ja. Merida, Flynn Rider. Hades kommen am 20. November. Die ersten 3 Charaktere. Vieles haben sie verändert. Vieles auch umgeändert, was tatsächlich auch zu Kritik mitgeführt hat. Interessant. Wow, ja, wir sprechen jetzt tatsächlich noch mal ein bisschen drüber und gehen natürlich noch mal Schritt für Schritt mit durch. In dem Sinne würde ich tatsächlich sagen, dass wir die Musik hier ausmachen und ja, nee, wir machen keine Musik an. Alles gut, Chat, ich muss kurz durchatmen. Und wir morgen schon Steam gut haben. Ich habe nichts verstanden, aber die Tiere waren süß, Niki Bär. Ich bin fertig, Ratschin. Ich freue mich so. Das Einhorn, das war ein Pegasus gewesen. Heile Witzka, ne? Chat, die Gold-Edition kann man doch nicht mehr kaufen. Bin gerade so verwirrt. Die habe ich ja nicht. Ich weiß nicht, wie das mit den Editionen jetzt so aussieht. Das müssen wir uns noch mal gleich in Ruhe anschauen, ne? Die Drachen sind die Pegasus. Ich glaube, es war ein Pegasus. Es war kein Einhorn gewesen, ne? Logan Campbell übrigens, Dankeschön für den Follow während des Showcase. Die Alerts sind aus. Jessys Fairy Tale, Dankeschön für den Follow. Und Raffinia, Dankeschön für deinen Tier 1 Abhörer im 5. Monat. Vielen herzlichen Dank. Schön, dass ihr alle mit am Start seid. Jetzt ist natürlich hier erstmal die Kacke am Dampfen. Jeder ist gehypt und pipapo. Ich glaube, ihr seid ziemlich positiv überrascht. Mrs. Shanty, Hallöchen, nebenbei laufen lassen. Zwar stumm, aber ich hab's gesehen. Ja, will ich. Let's go, Miss Shanty. Okay, wir gehen Schritt für Schritt nochmal durch, schauen uns die Sachen mit an, versuchen natürlich auch nochmal zu übersetzen, was sie tatsächlich mit gemeint haben, mit gewissen Sachen. Da war sehr, sehr viel Information, die man nicht direkt mit verarbeiten kann. Aber ich würde sagen, wir legen los und ja, falls ich das Video hier stoppe, tschüss YouTube, macht's gut. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet Spaß mit der Reaction und tut mir leid wegen den kleinen Rucklern. Da war ein bisschen irgendwie hier, war heftig gewesen. Könnt auch nochmal Tschüss sagen, Chat. Ja, gerne lasst ein Like, ein Abo da. Und wenn ihr natürlich nichts verpassen wollt oder mich gerne mal live irgendwie erleben wollt, Kirschbecher 97 und schön, dass ihr zugeschaut habt. Dankeschön dafür. Adios. So.